Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I want to talk about the edit, new, submit, reset, and ViewForm functions. These are quite easy to wrap your head around because there's not a whole lot of configuration to them. The syntax for all of these is simply EditForm, NewForm, blah, 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 and then you simply pass in a form name. So let me show you what I've got going on over here. I have a gallery, and that's over here as you see with the outline. And then I have this form, and I called it Form 1. So all of these functions that you see, submit, edit, new, I'm simply passing in the form name, which you just saw my form name is Form 1. So a couple different things. Here is a new form button. I simply do new form, Form 1. If I want to reset the existing form, I reset form. Again, what form am I resetting? Form 1. If I want to submit the form, so I use SubmitForm. Again, pass in the name for. You see this repeating pattern here? So it doesn't take a whole lot of explanation to it. It's simply just all of these functions allow you to do different things. A couple of quick callouts that I will give you is one of the things to look for in, where's my Form 1? Form 1, there it is. Okay, so when you drop a form on the canvas for the very first time, its default mode is to edit. So if I go ahead and I play this, that's kind of what we're in here, right? I get to click into the field. The other thing too is you have to schema bind a form to whatever it is that you're working with. If you look at the data source, it says contacts. But if you want a record to show up in here, you do have to set this item property. And what I'm doing is choosing gallery1.selected. And so that's very helpful. That means anything that I'm selecting here in the gallery, by the way, I'm holding Alt key down as I'm clicking. Whatever I Alt click on, it's going to be selected and it's going to set the focus for the record there. This is somewhat, in my opinion, of a bad practice. Usually what I do is I put a variable in here and I set the variable to this record, because sometimes when you're doing a layout like this where you've got a gallery on the screen, somebody could accidentally click off and then they edit the wrong record for whatever reason. In any event, there's other reasons to potentially set a variable to, because if you're using multiple screens, if you want to refer to that record that you were working on, as soon as you leave this screen, like, this is not necessarily going to be selected, or it could be selected incorrectly, or you could wind yourself up in a weird predicament. So as a best practice, typically what I do is I create a variable and I set the variable to this record. So for example, let's go and edit this right here. I will create a big backdrop. Let's just insert a rectangle. Okay, so I'll make it as big as this, maybe as big as that. Whoop, come here. And I will go over as far as here. And then on the on select, I'll do set. What's going on? I didn't hit save. Hit set. V selected. That's my variable selected. If you have multiple galleries, maybe you want to do V selected and then a name or something like that. And then I just do this item. And at that point, now when I click on it, it's all good. The other thing I'll do is I'll set the transparency color here. So let's do color, fill, transparency 0. All right, so now I'm going to hold the Alt key down. And I click here. If I come over to my variables and look at my global variable, V selected, view the record, it's blank. Shouldn't have been blank. It should have had something in it. And let's look at this again. Refresh. Oh, okay. I just had fields being shown that weren't, I don't have a lot of data in this table for this, but anyway, it is working as designed. So typically that's what I do. That way when I'm working through all of this, then all of this seems to work like that. And the other thing too is I change over here on Form 1, under gallery.selected, I simply just do V selected. And so now as you see me click through whatever, it's the same thing. But if I click on this icon, it still works. And all that does is I'm using the ViewForm function. So if we come over here and click this, I'm setting the form to just view mode. And the other thing with this other one over here, I'm simply setting the form to edit mode. So I can toggle back and forth between view mode and then edit mode. Okay, so you can kind of see the difference. Like I can't click in and do anything here. Let me go ahead and play it. It's a lot easier when I play it. So right now I can't click into anything and change it, but if I click over here, I can change it. And then where you saw that I put the field just to the left of that, I can still click on it to select a different record, and then I can toggle within inside of this to do whatever. If I want to create a new form, I simply click new, and now I can create a brand new record. So at this point, let's look at the functionality. It's pretty much new form and the form name. And then the reset button is simply just going to reset form and the form name. And since I'm in new form mode right now, let me just go ahead and put, let's do bar is going to be the last name. And where's the first name? Do I have a first name in here somewhere? I did not pay any attention to laying this out. Anyway, how about just foobar? All right, submit. And ants are going across the top, and somewhere, here we are, there's foobar. So now we've got foobar over here, and foobar's in here as a full name, but foobar's really just the last name. Somewhere in here I would have thought there was at least a first name, but I probably didn't select it from the list that's in there. Anyway, so you can see that it did save and change. And the other thing I could do too as well, maybe go ahead and click inside of here, double click out of here, and then I could do put this down here. Let's do trash and on select. Remove from the contacts this item. So these are the most common used functions. So I still have my ViewForm down here, but if I want to get rid of foobar, I can just simply play this again, click on the delete key or the delete icon. You can see the ants are dancing, and now foobar has been removed. So these are all your most common use cases of when you're using a form on what to do. This isn't a lesson on forms itself. It's really just a lesson on, how to use these form functions and how that might look when you're setting up a form to get different data. The other thing too to call out, since we're dealing with forms, if you don't like this multi-column, you can go over here and change the columns, and you can set it so that it's all this way. You can set the vertical layout to horizontal. Anyway, a couple different ways of changing this all up. So that is it for this video. Hopefully we've covered all of these functions for you in depth. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the question or comment box below. Please subscribe and or like the video to help the algorithm increase. Definitely appreciate it. Thanks everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.